interesting part is that not just top envoys, Congress leaders, but there are common people also who are actually coming in. And anytime now, the VVIP movement will begin. And I think one of the first persons to turn up will, of course, be the Home Secretary, then the Defense Minister, then, of course, the Speaker, the Prime Minister, following a protocol. 11:45 a.m. Is when it is supposed to be scheduled time. Let's look at some of those pictures, Siddhant. I can see those pictures of people slowly coming in. Couple of union ministers are also there who have come in. Suhel, I'm just going to try and get in a quick word from you because, you know, Dr. Manmohan Singh was not called a people's politician, you know, in the sense that he never won a Lok Sabha election. He's not like the Prime Minister Modi or Atal Bihari Vajpayee mixing around with people in that sense. But when you see that even the common people are turning up, and not just party leaders, workers, but the common people are also coming out, because I was there at AIMS that night when the news came in and I saw a lot of young students who may have heard about him, have read about him, and especially as a finance minister, wanting to have that glimpse of him. Is today that moment when we can say that here is also a people's person?
You know, he may not have been a political person in the same vein as Narendra Modi or Indira Gandhi or, whoever. But the people loved his style of politics. That's the style of politics people, I think, want. They want someone who'll be decent and dignified and caring and not get into a spat. I'm not for a moment suggesting that his is the only style. There is no better communicator and person in terms of outreach than Narendra Modi. But that's a different style. That's a very muscular style. Dr. Manmohan Singh's style was diminutive. It was very genteel. It bore no aggression. Even if he had ill will, it never showed. If he had a thing to say, he never said it. He let his work speak. You know, many a time, Pallavi, silence is the best antidote to solving a problem. And he used that to great advantage. And when he spoke, people knew that if he's speaking, it's deathly serious, like he did in Parliament on the Indo-US nuclear deal. And he made it abundantly clear that it would either sink or swim with him. And everyone got the message. Sometimes you use speech as a very, very treasured weapon, and not that you use something every day. And I genuinely believe that the outpouring of grief today, Pallavi, and you mark my words, you know, we lost Ratan Tata this year, and we've lost Manmohan Singh. And the only commonality that they had, in addition to perhaps their work or whatever, was both were good men.
Yes.
There's a huge cachet of goodwill for goodness. There's a huge cachet of emotion for goodness. And to that extent, that goodness is what we are seeing. People want goodness. You and I want goodness. We want to be surrounded by good people. It doesn't matter if those people have money or power or stature. Essentially, goodness. And that's what Manmohan Singh was all about. He was about being a good man. You may have found fault with his economics. You may have found fault with his politics. You may have castigated him for his failure to stand up and be counted to corruption or people who were practicing corruption in his cabinet. But essentially, you knew that he was pained by it, which meant that you also knew he was a good man. And very good people almost always swallow the pain. They never let that pain spill over. They almost wish le lena hota hai. So I think we will remember Dr. Singh as a great prime minister, as a great economist, but I will always remember him as a good man who played a great role for his beloved country. That's what Manmohan Singh, to me, will always be. A good human being, a human being who continued to inspire while he was in office. And he inspired not just us, he inspired the world. And today we have to pay tribute. There are very few good men left, Pallavi. If every time a good man dies, we keep raking up silly trivia, we are actually negating goodness. We are not negating anything else. We are telling the world that no, we don't want people to be good. We want people to be nasty. We want people to be clever, filled with guile and bile and machinations. I don't want to remember Manmohan Singh like that. I don't care if A. Raja was corrupt or Kanimoi was corrupt or went to jail or whatever. I don't really care. I know that I had a good man as
Yeah.
my Prime Minister for 10 years.
I totally
It
agree
is a
with you,
decade
Suhail.
laced with goodness.
At the end of the day, it's the goodwill which matters, and those are the pictures which we are seeing now. The cavalcade has finally reached Nigambodh Ghat for its final journey.